sun hung low over the city's skyline as Detective Marcus Reed stepped out of the corner cafe, coffee in hand and badge tucked neatly beneath his civilian jacket. He had just wrapped up a long night shift assisting on a joint task force operation and was looking forward to a few hours of peace. As he strolled down the street, he approached his sleek black sedan parked in a tight space between a delivery truck and a fire hydrant. Reaching into his pocket, Marcus clicked the unlock button on his key fob. The lights flashed, but as he pulled the handle, the door didn't budge. He frowned, clicked it again. Still nothing. He leaned closer, inspecting the door, when suddenly, "Hands where I can see them!" a voice barked. Marcus turned, startled, and found himself staring down the barrel of a service weapon. Two officers, one tall, muscular, white with a tight crew cut and mirrored shades, the other younger, more hesitant, were advancing. "What's the problem, officers?" Marcus asked, hands raised. "That's not your car," the older cop snapped. "We got a report of a suspicious black male tampering with a vehicle. You match the description." Marcus blinked. "This is my car." "Sure it is," the cop sneered. Without warning, he lunged forward, yanking Marcus's arm and forcing it behind his back. "Wait, my ID's inside." "I can prove it," Marcus said calmly, though his jaw tightened. "Save it for the judge," the officer growled. The younger cop shifted uncomfortably but said nothing. As the cuffs clicked shut around his wrists, Marcus stared straight ahead. He knew how this looked, but what they didn't know would change everything, and it had already begun. The patrol car doors slammed, muffling the city's noise. Marcus sat stiffly in the back seat, wrists bound, coffee spilled across his shirt. He breathed slowly, resisting the anger swelling inside him. He'd seen this scene before, but never from this side of the bars. The older cop, still smirking, adjusted the rear-view mirror and muttered, "You guys never learn. Always someone else's car, huh?" Marcus said nothing. He scanned the front seats. The younger officer sat silently, eyes fixed on the dashboard, jaw tight. There was doubt there. "I'm telling you again," Marcus said firmly. "My wallet and ID are in the center console. Check it." The older officer chuckled. "Oh, I'm sure your stolen wallet just happens to be there too." Marcus leaned forward. "Run the plates. You'll see the registration is under Marcus Reed." The cop scoffed. "We'll let the system handle it. Maybe next time you won't try stealing a luxury car in broad daylight." "I am the system," Marcus muttered. The younger cop blinked. "What did you say?" Marcus locked eyes with him in the mirror. "Look me up. Marcus Reed, Detective, Badge 4735, Task Force Alpha." The older cop slammed on the brakes, turning back. "Don't play games." Marcus leaned back. "Then do your job." A tense silence filled the car. The younger cop finally spoke. "Sarge, maybe we should check." "Don't. You're too green to see through their crap," the sergeant barked. But seeds of doubt had already been planted, and Marcus knew all it would take was one good cop to ask the right question. Back at the precinct, Marcus was booked like any suspect. Mugshot, fingerprints, and a cold metal bench. No one had run his ID. No one had opened the car. The sergeant had already started typing his report. Attempted auto theft, resisted questioning, suspicious behavior. The younger officer hovered nearby, clearly unsettled. Marcus watched him closely. "Officer," he said calmly, "what's your name?" "Connor," the young man replied, voice low. "Connor," Marcus said. "You know something's wrong here." Connor shifted. I don't know what to think." Marcus's eyes didn't waver. "You saw me. I wasn't trying to run. I wasn't doing anything suspicious. And I told you my ID was in the car." "You could be lying," Connor whispered. "Then check," Marcus said simply. Just then the sergeant walked in. "Get away from him, Connor. He's just working you." "But Sarge—" "No buts," the older man snapped. "We followed protocol. That's that." Marcus sat quietly, watching the cracks form. Later that night, Connor returned alone. He pulled up his phone and typed something. His brow furrowed. He tapped again. Slowly his face changed. He looked at Marcus. "Detective Marcus Reed, Task Force Alpha. Commendation for hostage negotiation. Medal of Valor?" Marcus gave a slight nod. Now you see, Connor stepped back, stunned. Oh my God. Marcus's voice dropped. You want to fix this? Connor nodded slowly. Then go open the damn car. Connor's hands shook as he approached the impounded vehicle. It was after hours, and most of the precinct was quiet. The sergeant had gone home, assuming the case was closed. He used his access card to enter the lot and walked straight to Marcus's black sedan. He hesitated, looking around. Then he unlocked the door and slipped inside. He opened the center console. Empty. He frowned. Glove box, empty. Panic rose. Had Marcus lied? Or worse, had something been removed? Suddenly he noticed faint smudge marks on the dashboard. It looked like someone had opened and wiped the console clean. He reached under the passenger seat, and there it was. A slim leather wallet, jammed deep under the rail. He opened it. ID, Marcus Reed. Badge, 4735. Rank, detective. Connor's breath caught in his throat. The documents were all there. License, registration, department ID, even photos of Marcus in uniform. He backed out of the car slowly, heart pounding. Someone had tampered with the evidence, and he had a pretty good idea who. Connor burst into the precinct just after midnight, holding the wallet like it was radioactive. Marcus was still in the holding cell, tired but composed. You were telling the truth, Connor said breathlessly. I know, Marcus replied calmly. Connor turned. I'm getting you out. But just then, the sergeant appeared. What the hell is going on? Connor stiffened. Sir, this man is a detective. His ID was under the seat. Someone hid it. The sergeant's eyes narrowed. And I suppose you think I did it? You're the only one who had access, Connor shot back. That's a serious accusation, rookie. I've already uploaded a copy of his credentials to the internal server, Connor said. You can't cover this up, the sergeant growled, stepping closer. You think you're some kind of hero? No, Connor said, standing his ground. Just someone who still believes in justice. Marcus watched the standoff with quiet satisfaction. This was far from over. By morning, the precinct buzzed with whispers. News of Connor's discovery had spread fast. The wallet, the ID, the fact that the man in holding wasn't a thief, but a decorated detective. Chief Lorraine Matthews, a stern but fair leader, stormed into the station just after sunrise. She had served with Marcus years ago and knew his reputation for integrity. The moment she entered, every officer stood a little straighter. Where is he? She asked. Still in holding, Connor replied. He's been there all night. The chief's jaw clenched. Uncuff him. Now. Connor rushed to the holding cell, keys in hand. Detective Reed, you're free to go. Marcus stood, wrists sore but pride intact. Thank you. Chief Matthews entered as the cell opened. Marcus, I am so sorry. I didn't expect special treatment, he said. Just fair treatment. The chief nodded solemnly. And you'll get it, starting now. She turned to Connor. You followed your gut. That took courage. Connor nodded. I couldn't let it slide. Then came the hard part. Bring Sergeant Harlan Briggs to my office, the chief ordered. Now. Sergeant Briggs entered the chief's office casually, but the smirk on his face faded fast when he saw Marcus sitting beside her, free and clean. What's this about? Briggs asked. Chief Matthews stood. A detective was falsely arrested, humiliated, and his ID was deliberately hidden. That's criminal tampering. Briggs raised an eyebrow. You're accusing me of planting evidence? Marcus leaned forward. You didn't just ignore protocol, you tried to bury the truth. Briggs scoffed. This is a misunderstanding. No, Connor said, stepping inside. You hid the wallet. I found it shoved under the seat. Chief Matthews narrowed her eyes. You're being investigated, Briggs. Effective immediately. You're suspended. Briggs's face turned red. You'll regret this. I regret trusting you to wear this badge, she replied coldly. As Briggs stormed out, Marcus turned to Connor. That took guts, officer. Connor gave a small smile. I learned from the best, even if it was only for one night. News broke within hours. Detective arrested by own department while off duty. Social media erupted. The video of Marcus calmly explaining himself while being ignored by Briggs went viral. Headlines blasted across major outlets. Civil rights groups demanded answers. City Hall issued statements. Protesters gathered outside the precinct with signs reading, "This is why we protest and badge not equal to innocence." Chief Matthews held a press conference. "We failed Detective Reed, but this won't be buried. There will be accountability." Marcus stood beside her, not as a victim, but as a voice. "This isn't about me," he said. "It's about every person who doesn't have a badge to protect them. Justice must look the same for everyone." Briggs, meanwhile, was placed under internal investigation and charged with misconduct and tampering. He faced possible termination and criminal charges. For Officer Connor, the public praised him as a rookie with integrity. People needed hope, and he'd offered a small piece of it. Inside the department, change stirred. In the weeks that followed, the station atmosphere shifted. Some officers whispered that Marcus had betrayed the Brotherhood. Others silently nodded respect. Connor noticed it too, side glances, cold shoulders, awkward pauses in conversation. But he stood tall. "If doing the right thing costs me a few fake friends, I'll live." Marcus continued his duties as a detective, but something had changed, not just in him, but around him. Chief Matthews initiated department-wide bias training. External investigators were brought in. Officers were reminded that silence in the face of injustice made them complicit. Marcus invited Connor for coffee one afternoon. "You still good with what you did?" Marcus asked. "Every day," Connor replied. "I'd rather stand alone for what's right than be surrounded by what's wrong." Marcus smiled. "Then maybe there's hope for this place after all." The fight wasn't over, but it had begun. 6 months later, Officer Connor stood in front of a packed precinct. Chief Matthews handed him a certificate and a new badge. "Congratulations, Sergeant Connor." The room applauded. Marcus leaned against the wall, smiling. After everything, justice had spoken, and now it was building. Briggs had been found guilty of misconduct and obstruction. He'd lost his badge, his pension, and his reputation. Marcus didn't feel joy at the fall, but relief that truth had triumphed. After the ceremony, Connor approached Marcus. "Couldn't have done this without you. You did it because you chose to." "That's leadership," Marcus replied. Outside, the city moved as always, cars honking, people rushing. But somewhere out there, someone was being watched unfairly, questioned unjustly, judged too soon. And now, because of what happened, there were people inside the department ready to speak up, to act, to remember that justice isn't a uniform, it's a choice. Marcus got into his black sedan, badge visible this time, and drove away. This time, no one stopped him. This time, someone had finally seen the whole story.